Namaste, everyone. Welcome to Unlearn Living and welcome to Universe, where the founder of Unlearn Living, Mr. Kuldeep Kalavar, graciously shares all his knowledge about the Vedanta and the science of living. Many of us have questions about life, uh, things that are happening in our everyday life. And we are always on this journey of seeking something. Either it could be just a list of today's tasks that we need to achieve, or a bigger goal, or life goal that we may have, or a dream or a wish. But somehow in all of this, there is some amount of unhappiness. So, despite having everything, there is unhappiness. So today's question is about just this. I have everything, yet I am unhappy. So what does Vedanta say about this? And what should our approach be to, tackling life?
Let's look at life. In whatever you're doing, what actually are you looking for? What are you searching for in life? Whether you're drinking tea, whether you're working, whether you're enjoying your game, whether you're watching TV, whether whatever you are doing. Behind whatever you are doing, what exactly are you looking for? What are you searching for? Different people may give various reasons, but I'm not talking about the reasons why you're doing it. I am talking about what is the goal behind doing whatever you're doing. You may say, I'm working because I want money. Okay, you got money. Why do you want the money? Because I want to buy this, this, this. Facilitates my life in the kitchen. Okay. And once that is achieved, then what happens? I feel happy. So you find happiness is the goal behind everything that you do in life, whether you're working, whether you're playing a sport, whether you're indulging in a hobby, whether you're reading, whatever you're doing. Basically, you're looking for happiness. But we have failed to understand the real meaning of happiness. What does actual happiness mean? And what exactly is it we are looking for vis-a-vis what we are getting? So, what you're getting in life by your activities, by your investments, etc., it makes you happy. It makes you feel secure. What anything in this world can give you, any object can give you, is not happiness, but it gives you temporary happiness, which is called pleasure. What every object gives you, whether it is a desert, whether it is good food, whether it is alcohol, anything, it is temporary happiness, because pleasure has two sides, just like a coin. You eat a sweet, you like it the first time. You have a second helping, you like it not as much as the first time. The law of diminishing returns. You have it the fifth time, now you don't enjoy it as much as you did on the first occasion. When you do it for the seventh or eighth time, it is now you reach a stage where you just don't want to touch it anymore, because now you've had enough. And in other words, that pleasure now begins to turn to pain. Beyond a certain limit, everything, you may buy one car, you may buy one house. The first house is, you feel great. You buy a second house, you buy a third house, a fourth house, a fifth house. At a certain point of it, you find it doesn't give you that same pleasure which the first one gave you. So people do the same thing in marriage. The first marriage, second marriage, third marriage, they go on looking for happiness, thinking they're going to get it. But it doesn't work out, because what you're getting is pleasure, temporary happiness. Everything in this world, any object in this world, you can get pleasure, not happiness. So therefore, pleasure is temporary happiness. Everything which you can, I would call it material aspects. Every material aspect of life can only give you pleasure, because beyond a certain point, it does not give you happiness anymore or pleasure anymore. So then what is happiness? Happiness is actually a state of mind. You have name, fame, money, you have what, there's nothing which you cannot buy. You have everything, but yet you find you're miserable. You get into depression. Why is that? because happiness is a state of mind. It is not a state of objects. A poor man, sometimes you see some people who are on the roadside, they live on the pavement, but they are happy. You don't need money to be happy. You need money to live life comfortably. Yes, it gives you material comforts. Material comforts up to a point are okay. You need it because you can't live life without a bit of comfort in that. So, how do you achieve this state of mind? Question is, how do you achieve it? First, to recognize that happiness is not connected with outside things. It is connected with your mind. That same mind can be happy if it knows exactly what happiness is, and it can be miserable if it does not understand that happiness does not lie in outside objects. So let's understand one thing. Happiness is abstract, pleasure is material. Let's be very clear. You cannot buy love. When I say love, I'm talking about genuine love in a relationship. You cannot buy love. You cannot buy sharing and caring. You cannot buy that feeling of tremendous satisfaction and I would say that tremendous feeling of wellness and satisfaction and contentment inside you. These are not things that you can buy. These are things which are emotional. So the first aspect, pleasure is quantity. Happiness is quality. The first thing adds comfort to your life. It improves your standard of living. You have 2 cars, 3 cars, each person has a car. It is comfort level for them. It is money, material. But happiness is a state of mind. It is abstract. It is quality. So this balance between quantity and quality is what is the whole objective of life. You need this also. You need the money because you need to buy your comforts. You need this quality also because without this is the source, spiritual. This aspect of abstract is spirituality. It is a manifestation of God's love. So God is love that everybody accepts. Manifestation of that love is what a human being gets an opportunity to show through his relationships, through his family, through his children. So it's, if you look at the institution of marriage and the relationships which begin with the issue of marriage, because the moment you get married, a huge number of relationships just spring up overnight. The day you get married, you'll end up getting so many in-laws in connection with you. You get connected with so many other people besides your own family. So how to maintain in the process of that, you get an opportunity to improve the quality of your relationships with your spouse, with your children. You learn the aspects of sacrifice, learn the aspects of sharing and caring, how to empathize. Your emotional quotient is what goes up when you look into the happiness aspect of your life. Happiness is just a term, but what is more important is behind it is the full gamut of emotional aspects. Everything in emotions is covered in happiness. There are many times an expensive gift may not give you so much happiness as a little token of caring and sharing from a loved one who has thought about you at a particular moment and just gives you a small little thing. It may be a small trinket, but then it gives you much more happiness than getting an expensive gift from somebody else. So these are the aspects between pleasure and happiness. Now, for example, they cannot compensate for each other. Quality and quantity cannot be interchanged. Now, you don't have time for your kids, so you shower them with gifts, with toys and expensive toys, etc. Well, temporarily the child is carried away by the toy and he is very happy, he looks happy, and actually what you're doing is trying to substitute quality with quantity. After some time, that toy loses its appeal. He goes back to crying. Why? Why does he cry? Because he seeks the parents' presence. He seeks the mom's presence. He seeks the father's presence. He wants time from parents, quality time. So I will give examples little later on as to how this can be achieved. What we have to do is achieve a balance. Your outside world, in which we work and which we play and which we socialize, it's the outside world, outside the door of your house. What you can get is only quantity, and to a little extent, because of your association with social groups and society, etc., you can get a little bit of quality also, because friendships are there, but friendships, etc., are nowadays, you find very few, most people, there is very little connect. There are a lot of contacts. Yes, in your phone book you may have a lot of contacts, but it's better to understand where, how many connects do you have. When I say connects, where earlier you used to talk every day, to somebody, used to meet somebody every day, and there was somebody at always available to you in time of trouble. Today, how many people can you count on your fingers who will be available to you at just a moment's notice? So what happens here is, these aspects need to be cultivated. These quality aspects need to be cultivated. The material aspects can be bought overnight. You order it on Amazon and it comes the next day. But unfortunately, these are things you cannot buy. You have to cultivate them. It's like nurturing a small plant into a tree. So that is what most people lack. And today, nowadays, nobody has time for anybody. And they reach a stage where they have no time for themselves also. It gets into a rat race. This balance is what is necessary. So out of your, not 24 hours, because actually if you look at it, in our life, we have actually only about 10 or 12 hours. The balance, we are either sleeping or we are, having dinner, breakfast, etc., whatever it is. We have about 8 or 10 hours. Out of those 8 or 10 hours, we are concerned with our profession for a major amount of time. How much balance is left for anything else? So you have to sit down and plan out. So let me give you an example. Here's this family, 2 children, working wife, working father. The father was very ambitious and had a goal. He had certain goals that I would like to become this. I would like to take on this position in the next 5-7 years time. So he had a clear goal in his mind. So he was more or less, I would say, full time involved with his job. He would bring work back home. Even after dinner, he would sit down and do work. Before breakfast, he would get up early and do work, etc. So he was basically a workaholic. And the wife also was an executive, and she also was earning. Both of them were earning. The first kid came in about 3-4 years after marriage. The first kid came in. They hired a nanny for that child, but the child began to become a little unruly. The parents found that she is not listening to them. She's throwing tantrums, and it becomes difficult to control. In front of guests, she would start howling. They couldn't understand what exactly is the reason, because there was nothing lacking. The nanny is there, food and all that is there, everything is there. But they went to a psychiatrist, thinking that it was a female who would be able to understand. And she, after understanding what the child was behaving, how the child was behaving, she says, your child needs your time. You will have to understand that you will have to give time to the child. It was only, but then how to spend time with this sort of a schedule? Wife on one side working, husband on one side working. They had no choice. And then by that time, their second child came within another 2 years or so. Now it was one problem compounded with the second problem. So that was the time when both the parents realized that we have to take a call. One of us will have to spend time at home. It's impossible. We would have a set of kids who would be totally beyond our control. The wife decided to quit her job and give time to the kids. It helped tremendously. But the first child, while growing up, because by now she was going into her fourth year and fifth year, a lot of her behavior had improved because of the mother taking charge of the house, basically. It was not a very big job which she was losing, but she didn't have anything to do, so she used to do it. So she took a call, okay, let's spend time. Now, so things improved. The first child improved radically, and the second child had the full attention of the mother. So there was a marked difference between the behavior of the second child and the first child. So the second child started demanding that the father should be there. Demanding, because she wouldn't allow the parent to go to office. So she would cry when they would go to office, and then he would come back when she was asleep. So she would again cry in the morning, and now she could talk. So you are never there for me. Whenever I want, you are never there. So all that sort of thing. You must be understanding what I'm saying. Now this person realized that he has to now sit down and maybe change his routine and change his daily plan. So one fine day, what happened was he took a call on a weekend. He decided that out of the 2 weekends, they used to get a Saturday and a Sunday. This was abroad. One fine day, he decided that I will spend, out of the 2 holidays, I will spend one full day with my child, with my 2 kids. And this next half of the day, I will, next holiday, next half, that is Saturday full day and Sunday, I will sit with them and I will be teaching them certain aspects, because it's through the teaching that that connection comes between the child and the. So he took to teaching the kids there, the nursery rhymes. In the case of the little one, the nursery rhymes, and the second one was beginning to get into school and all that. So he started taking lessons for the kids. So over the next 1.5, 2 years, what happened was there was a drastic transformation in both the children. And they started going for picnics, they started going for movies, took them out for cartoons, etc., etc. So in the process, they achieved a balance between their work and their emotional aspect of their life. The children literally forced them to look at these aspects. If they had no children, probably they may not have realized this aspect. But that's what an example I'm giving from actual life, how things really work out. But this balancing is absolutely essential if you have to make sure that you have a balanced and contented life. Yeah.
Yet the younger one, she had her mother, but she wanted her father as well.
Yes.
Also a classic case of, I have something, but I want something more.
Because you have to become complete. You see,
Absolutely.
in one of the talks, I talked about the male and female.
Children.
You need the male and the female because each one of them have different characters.
Yes.
You need the completion. That completion comes, the emotional aspect comes from the mother.
Yes.
The practical part, the down to earth, the down to earth aspect comes from the male, who is, a physical person. The mother is an emotional person. So you need both. A child needs both.
Yeah.
So that's how the whole thing arrives. That balancing is what a human being has to arrive at. Yes.
So if you like what you're listening to in this series, please hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so that you get notifications about our shows that happens every weekend. And you can visit our website, unlearnliving.in, Unlearn Living is basically a platform which Sir uses as his vehicle to teach lessons about life, to teach Vedanta, to teach the basic principles of Vedanta that every human being in today's chaotic world and chaotic life needs to know. It's not just about, you know, getting you to practice something, but it is about giving you the absolutely essential information of Vedanta. And he has split it into several levels. So when you visit the website, you should attempt to join level one and register with us so that you can take this journey forward. And if you have any questions for Sir, please feel free to email us at unlearnliving@gmail.com. And we look forward to the next episode with you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you.